DETV Sports Update is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
Welcome inside DETV Sports, the crew back together on a Monday. And what a pre-show we had here today. Different location. We're going to get to the crew in a second. We are upstairs at our typical studios here in Wilmington on North Market Street. But we are here and we are ready to talk a little NFL preseason. The Olympics have wrapped up with the U.S. and China tying in gold medals there. So you'll get both Matthew and Jason's thoughts on the Olympics, some of the NFL stuff coming up, and of course, news around the world of sports. So here we go, a different location, same show, same great crew. Jason McCall, welcome back. I know it's been a little week and a half hiatus for us here, but how we doing up on the third floor? How you feeling today?
Right. I came back a new anchor, got a little,
you look a little different.
A little different here, new season, new energy, new studio, new cut, It's been about two weeks, I would say, but a good 2 weeks. Just, baby boy working, with the wife. We were in New York for a conference for her over the past week or so, and just coming back home and relaxing and seeing some very good sporting events. Some very good basketball was played throughout the Olympics. USA track and field is back. I'll say that. And football season started. Thank the Lord Jesus. Now we can actually watch something on TV every weekend.
I'm a lot happier already.
I'm happier now.
Right, a lot happier already.
My sanity is hell. and we started at 8. This was started at 8, everybody. 8 straight. 96. It was the start of it. We're here now.
What a game that
Number
was.
8.
We're going to talk about both of those gold medal matchups between the United States and France. Matthew, welcome back to another show here on a Monday. Different location. How you feeling? A week and a half off.
Feeling great, man.
How's everything going? Any news in your life?
No, man, I'm just crushing these haters. I'm enjoying my time, talking to my friends in Canada. Where's your medal at, dog? You ain't got one, do you? I'm sorry, Canada.
And again, if you want to get all of Matthew's fresh takes on whatever he's thinking, they can follow you on, or add you on Facebook and follow you.
Yeah,
on
follow at your own
risk,
because you might get pissed off.
Well, let's dive in again. A long, great pre-show meeting for us here today. Dennis, of course, as always, running things in a new control studio here to our right.
That's a fact.
So Dennis got 2 studios he's got to worry about. A big event going on downstairs as well with the 50-plus women, I believe, on DETV. So we're going to air a little bit later tonight, and with the mayor debates going on as well here in our corner. But a lot to get into, and let's start with that Olympics, and let's start with the gold medal games, and let's start with the men. They defeat France 98-87. Stephen Curry with a few games here getting wrapped up. It was funny, Anthony Edwards, they had that video of him saying, hey, my man just showed up to Paris 3 days ago. He said he just got here. Well, he had a heck of a semifinal and gold medal game. Steph, 24 points, 5 assists, 4 threes in the final 2 minutes. Obviously been the talk of the sports world here over the weekend, these last couple days for what he was able to do. He was locked in those typical Steph Curry moments that we've seen him do in the playoffs. LeBron, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists. Had a triple-double, I believe, in the semifinal. He was, of course, the MVP or the most valuable player of the men's side of things. The women, they defeat France in a nail-biter, 66. And Asia Wilson, 21 points, 13 rebounds, 4 blocks, had a lot to do with it for her. Kelsey Plum added 12 points. So we're going to talk about both of these guys. Jason, I want to get your opinion here on the men's. Let's start with that gold medal game. 98-87, they get the victory. Not really beating the teams, guys, like we kind of had hoped they would. Doesn't really matter. They're gold medals, and that's all that matters is being the champions there. But big favorites in terms of lines, if you look at that kind of thing, or Vegas, and didn't really cover any of the spreads, but they got the job done. They were 16-point favorites in the final here over France, but they get the win 98-87. What did you see out of Team USA on the men's side?
I saw a team bail out Coach Kerr. That's what I saw. Because that was poor coaching and substitutions throughout the entire Olympic run. When you have players like Tatum sitting, you have even a player like Halliburton sitting, you got to give people spurts. And Bam didn't play that much either, if we're going to be honest about it.
Not the last couple games, I'm sure.
So I thought the substitutions were kind of wacky. To be honest with you, but I think we won in spite of the coaching. I will just be the first person to say it. But LeBron did what he needed to do. Point forward. He got to play his favorite position. And you gotta remember, these guys on the Olympic teams, men and women's team, they don't have to be the alpha dog. They can just be themselves. So whatever their natural God-given abilities are on the basketball court, they can just lean into their skill set. And that's what you saw. You saw them having fun. You saw them just being their 10-year-old selves in the court. Okay, I can pass very well. I can run and jump real high. Okay, I'm going to do my strengths, and you can shoot real good. I'm going to pass to you. Okay, you're going to do what you do best. I'm going to do what I do best. And he stabilized the ship. But Steph Curry, I mean, those were two of the best performances we've ever seen in Olympic play. But I would say I haven't seen an Olympic performance like that since Melo's three-point barrage in 2012 against Nigeria. We had 37 points, like 14 minutes or something like that. So that's what I saw from Steph in the semifinals and in the gold medal game. But all around, great effort for Team USA. But you can see the future. I want to give a salute to that team because, again, guys, you saw Steph, KD, and LeBron.
Yep, maybe for the last time.
You're not going to see them on the same team
Nah,
again. Yeah. It's not going to happen. So we got the great display of basketball, and I'm happy for the result. I mean, we got the gold. All that matters is gold, and that's 5 straight now. So, you know, Larry Brown went in the way. We'd still be winning gold medals. You know, count 04, but we'll leave that alone for today.
Yeah, again, Grant Hill obviously in control of this for the foreseeable future, so we'll see what the team looks like.
Fire Steve Kerr. He can't coach again.
Again, a tough situation, right? And I do get the thing for Steve Kerr is really no credit if you win the gold, right? Because you're supposed to. And then if you lose or, you know, those rotation things, you get a lot of critique and stuff like that. So it's a hard position to be put in. But to your point, I understand how you can play those guys no minutes in a game, right? Like you can get a little bit of rotation where Jason, nobody should be playing, in my opinion, especially in the Olympics, 0 minutes, right? Like that's how I feel, and I thought he could have done a better job with that for sure. Matthew, what were your biggest takeaways from watching the Olympics with those 3 guys? He mentioned Durant now the all-time leading scorer for the United States. That's going to be a record that's going to be hard to break, for anyone down the line. LeBron, first player to have 3 gold medals, and either was it 3 different generations or whatever.
3 different decades.
Decades, excuse me, and stuff like that. So, what was your biggest takeaway on the men's side of things here, taking home gold in Paris?
I mean, the biggest takeaway is really just appreciating what we're gonna not have anymore. I mean, not having LeBron,
I agree.
KD, Curry, no matter who your GOAT is or who you feel is the best of all time. I mean, you're seeing, I think, arguably 3 players that are probably top 15 of all time.
I agree.
And we saw them on one court together, and we saw that they had what they would. Everybody kind of didn't think they were going to do, and that's win. And I do want to talk a little bit. Canada.
Camera 3.
I'm waiting. Where was y'all at, man? Because y'all was talking big with the World Championship Cup thing. Y'all was talking. Germany was talking.
Germany as well, yeah.
Dylan Brooks didn't bail y'all out. Dennis Schroeder ain't the best player in the whole entire world.
Former MVP of the World Championship.
Now listen, I know people got a lot to say about we didn't take care of business the way that we took care of business in the past. And I'll say this. That's because we made y'all step y'all game up.
Yeah.
No one want to talk about it, but let's talk about it, for example. We helped build Giannis. Giannis put all the, look, did all your thing with Milwaukee Bucks, but dog, you was playing in the second division of Greece. And people were wondering why we even drafted Milwaukee Bucks. They said, why are you drafting a guy in the second division of Greece? Then they work with him. He becomes a dog,
MVP,
right?
yeah.
A beast.
Finals MVP,
Okay.
too.
Jokic,
Same thing.
amazing guy. But he was the second best player on his team when he was drafted in the NBA. Actually, the guy, I forget his name.
Nurkic was drafted.
Nurkic, that's it. He was He played for Mega with Jokic, and he was looked at as being the best prospect between the two. France, I think, had like 6 or 7 guys that were drafted by the NBA. Gershon Yepsule.
They would call him Ben Ye Wallace.
Yeah. Decided to show people that he could play. He always could play.
He didn't do it in Boston.
But
Sorry.
he didn't. I was about to say that. He didn't do it in the NBA. That's why he's over there. Now he wants to, take this and try to get himself back in the NBA. Look, I hope it work out. No shade. But the whole point I'm making is South Sudan. Hats off to what Lil Dang did. But again, how many of them guys came from North America's basketball infrastructure? People don't want to talk about it.
A lot of them, Carly Jones.
All of them.
You know what I mean? Carly Jones, Lil Dang, a lot of those
Real
guys.
Ivy. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, like, look, I'm not
Gabriel,
even trying to
Gabriel.
talk. I'm not even trying to say that you guys got to say thank you. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying we help you guys take your steps to the promised land of being competitive. So I like the fact that the games are competitive. Because if we were smacking them down, people would say, oh, of course you guys win. Who cares? Okay, now we win, and now it's the refs didn't want us to win if you're Serbia. Come on, bro.
So let me jump back in here, because a couple of those games we did win by at least 20 points. Like, you want to beat everybody by 50 and 60. Those days are long gone.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I agree.
Those days, even on the women's side, those days are long gone. The world is catching up because of the players coming over here for development and going to our colleges and through our summer programs with AAU and the EYBL and everything else like that. So we globalized the game in '92 in Barcelona, and this is the second generation of talent coming through after that. So what does everybody expect? We're still better, clearly, but has the gap narrowed? Yes. Will they ever top us? No, because Athens was an aberration that will never happen again. I can tell you that right now, because we have young guns coming up through our under 18 system right now that are going to be those next guys to win those World Cups and play in the NBA and compete for other goals later on down the road. So no, USA basketball is fine on both sides, but the world's catching up, but they're not going to surpass. You can be close, but still no cigar.
And again, to that point, look at the first round draft in this year's draft, right? I mean,
All French.
those players coming over,
French
and
is their
it's
thing.
only going to be, continue to go down that path. And the NBA, of course, already, as you talked about, in talks with FIBA, right, about hosting a tournament. Was that in the season, I believe, I read, or something like that? I mean, they're really trying to take this.
NBA got too much dip on their chip.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Come on, bro.
Come on, I'm with you there. So we'll see what happens there. Again, liked what I saw. Said Curry, unbelievable. And again, that's going to go down as some people say one of the biggest moments in not only his career but in sports. You guys kind of feel that way, that is a huge moment in American sports?
Yes, I feel as though for him, because when they beat us, in Boston for the championship in 2022.
Yeah, that was a big final.
His post-game interview, he said that was the last thing on his left on resume. Is to win
Finals
the
MVP
gold medal.
and winning without.
Because he won the World Cup, not an Olympic medal.
Yeah.
So the last thing on his agenda was to win the gold medal, and he fulfilled his wish. I mean, you saw the childlike joy in everyone on that team on the court. And you saw two kids from Akron. People forget that Steph was born in Akron.
Yeah.
You saw two kids from Akron having fun. Like that first alley-oop in the opening game, like, oh yeah, this is going to be fun for them. And when does Steph ever have a chance to be on the court and not have to be the main guy? He can actually just shoot.
It was fun to see him and LeBron play
Like
together.
he
right?
can come off the screen and just shoot.
Embiid laid some nice screens for him.
KD can just shoot. Embiid can just rebound. And they were talking about something on First Take today about who's going to take the biggest leap going into the season. Where every time the Olympics happens, players take the biggest leap. Tatum was one of the names mentioned, but like I said to you guys before the Olympics started, I really do think that Embiid staying healthy through this Olympic campaign and playing over there, him being around those greats, those legends, and KD and LeBron and Steph every day, I feel like his workout regimen might change a little bit. I feel like his mindset might shift.
I hope so. A little
Like,
bit. Just a little
because I feel like you can't be around them for that long and not pick up anything from them.
bit. Yeah, I think it'd be good for him.
And I think that's the main thing he'll pick up. So I think Embiid, a healthy Embiid mentally, whether physically, you're going to see something crazy. And Tatum's going to use this as fuel because he didn't play like that. Tatum might be MVP of the league this year.
And again, Embiid saying, after he won the gold medal, that he would, most likely in 2028 go play for Cameroon and not the United States. So interesting, there he gets the gold medal with the United States. And then, I'd like to see him. It's fine, go play for his home country.
Well, that's because they didn't qualify for this Olympics. He would have played for them had they qualified.
Yeah.
I mean, people forget, so I didn't like the fact that he was being booed so much by the French.
Really,
I'm like, he's not from there.
But
He's
he played
French,
into it, and I think
but,
he dealt with it in the right
but
way.
like, get over it, please.
I mean, let's be honest. The French, you don't have to like this. That's fine, but it's the truth. Dog, y'all got a lot of imported talent there too. It ain't like these guys are all born in France and raised in France and developed in France. Like, you got some guys in French territories that you brought over that are just under French rule.
Yeah.
So, like, this whole notion that, like, the French are somehow purists with just domestic players is nonsense. Dude, a lot of your guys come from Guadeloupe. A lot of you guys come from there's other places that you guys pull guys from.
Martinique, all those other places.
Yeah, like, stop. And you know, let me just say this, too. A lot has been said about the NBA and in particular the United States falling off with basketball. Listen, dog. Out of 21 Olympics, we've won 17 of them things. Out of the 17, so that's 4 we didn't win. Out of the 4, the 1 we boycotted due to the Russia invading, a country. The second one, 72, was nonsense.
Oh,
Everybody
God.
knows that one was theft.
Yeah.
Argentina is the legit one in 04. They won that thing. And then you had
88.
Yugoslavia.
88, yeah.
No, Soviet Union, the one in 88.
88,
And they beat
yeah.
the college kids, and that's what formed the Dream Team. So, look, hats off. I respect what you guys doing, but, like, come on, stop with the nonsense.
And
man.
let's go further. Think about this, too. The foreign countries have always played their professional players in these games. We just started doing it. You understand what I'm saying? 92. They've been doing this since they formed their team. So to say that, we're falling off, please. Y'all are playing your personal guys against our college kids the entire time. And the greatest team of all time outside of the Dream Team is probably that 84 Olympic team, if we're going to be honest about it.
Or 1960.
Well, 1960.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Oscar and Jerry.
Oscar and Jerry.
Yeah.
But you had 60, 92, and then maybe the Redeem team.
Probably, yeah.
And then you can add this team to the list, only because of the names that are on this team. Not because of what they were doing on the court, but the names, the NBA names on this team.
You guys like that? You know, they asked LeBron what the name of the team.
The
would be.
Avengers.
And you guys like that? You guys down
The
with
Avengers.
the Avengers?
No.
No, it's corny.
See, I'm
It's
not a
corny.
big Marvel guy either, so like,
It's corny.
maybe- I thought the same thing, but you know, LeBron is. I love
corny.
LeBron. A little corny, yeah, a little bit.
I mean, to me, I don't know what we call ourselves,
Exactly.
but I mean, I'll tell you this: I think the rest of the world caught what they deserve. Which
Call
is,
us 5-time straight gold medal winning
right.
USA basketball team. That's what you call us.
You ain't gotta like it, but you better learn to love it.
Respect on our name.
That's right.
And that takes us to 2028, where the Olympics are going to be coming here on U.S. soil over in Los Angeles. Coming up here in the next Olympics. What do you guys, and again, Jason mentioned it earlier, you're not going to see a lot of those guys that we saw this year on that team in 2028. You know, you may see your Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, Halliburton,
Bams.
potentially there,
Yeah.
Bams. What guy are you most excited to potentially see on that 2028 roster here for the
Tyrese
Olympics?
Maxey. Ja Morant.
Ooh. I love
Tyrese
Maxey
and
too,
Ja.
and Ja, those are two really good ones there.
Tyrese and Ja.
And I'm assuming, and I don't have the clip with me, Jason. I don't know if you guys have seen it, the clip of Mike Miller talking about John Morant. And he was very animated. He said, I think the quote was, how soon or how quickly they forget was the quote about John Morant obviously having played in some time.
I even say Zion's probably going to be on the 2020 Olympic team.
I think so too, right?
Man, I ain't got no hope for Zion. But y'all can believe in Zion if you want.
Cooper
man.
Flag, possibly.
Cooper, I gives you. Ace Bailey from Georgia is a beast. You know what I mean? He good money.
I mean, Anthony Edwards is going to be one of those, stars.
Jalen Brown, hopefully in 2028.
Should have been there this year.
Yeah, absolutely should, but don't cross your fingers.
He'll be back at home, quote unquote, playing at Cal. He'll be back at home for it. Somewhere
That's
close.
true. There you
So
go. So I think
players like that. I'm looking at
Yeah.
players like that for 2028.
Maxey's a good one. Like you said,
Even,
Ja's a big one.
Jalen Brunson could be on 2028 team.
Yeah, absolutely could. Yeah, I'm
That's a
with you
fact.
there.
It's going to be some decent talent still.
That's a fact.
But
I kind of would like to see Brunson over Halliburton on the team this year.
USA has to do one thing though. We have to develop big men again because the game, the FIBA game is physical.
Right, yeah.
Big men have to get back in the paint.
That's a fact.
Back on the block.
And we can also agree that the big changing block against Serbia was our guy, Embiid.
It was huge.
Embiid.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Game of the tournament
I'm
for
saying
him.
this as a joke, but I'm saying it for real though. I don't know what's in Embiid, but dog, when he sees Jokic,
Yeah,
he
you're right.
runs across the court to go after that
And that's
man.
when they play when the Sixers play the Nuggets. Too.
Dog,
Like,
he
whenever they
sees
went-
red. Whenever he sees Jokic, he sees red. It was murder.
And it's not like a you know they have a lot of mutual respect for each other.
Right.
They're very they like each
Ego
other a
thing.
lot.
No.
Yeah, and you're right though. He really does turn it on.
Embiid is the best big man in the NBA. I said it before. I
Agreed.
love
I'm with you.
Embiid can do. I mean, Jokic do all the passing and all that stuff. When you talk just sheer, just raw talent, and I'm gonna give you 40 and 10 at any given time, and make it look easy.
And that reminds me, we had that one clip and all the Denver fans came out and said, "You guys are smoking if you think." Dog, talk to me now, dog.
I was going to bring up now is right. You look back, there's a lot of recency bias after the Nuggets won the championship.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, how is anybody going to stop the Nuggets for the next couple of years? I mean, they were huge favorites to win the title again.
Themselves.
I mean, they were even up there when the Celtics were on that long run. They were still up near the top of favorites in terms of odds of winning the championship. A tough loss to Minnesota, who then goes and gets almost blown out by Dallas in the next round. It was not a great finish for the season for Denver. Not only that, then now we're going off on the Nuggets, but then you lose Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. That team, I mean, they signed Russell Westbrook. We'll see how that works
And
out.
Jamal Murray was a milk carton.
And again, I don't know if it was how he can be hurt a lot of the time, but they
Hope
were
everything good.
very disappointed. A second round exit in the fashion that they lost to Minnesota. I mean,
Shout out to
losing those
Dylan
games
Brooks,
at home.
top defender of the world, Craig.
So I mean, we'll see what happens next year, but it's hard to keep up with that. With the whole Jokic, headline. If that team has a second round exit for as good as everybody says he is, and again, we all think he's very or extremely good. Just saying, the recency bias can play a role right there. So we got over 2020. I think Anthony Edwards is going to be the leader of that team, obviously here in 4 years. They asked him though today if he would play in other Olympics, and he said, "Hell nah." So
Who's that?
Anthony Edwards. So maybe he was like,
No, he only said that because Steve Kerr's the coach.
Yeah.
Really? You're the answer? You think so?
Dog.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we got to talk about
And
it.
I don't think he'll be the coach at
Dog,
He
Steve,
won't.
Steve Kerr is kind of mid out here,
And
bro.
again, this is somebody you want. You were keeping everybody. Or Greg Popovich. You were like, yeah, we have to hold him accountable, right, for what he did last year. Obviously, with Wembanyama, they were awful still, right?
Right.
Who would you rather have, Kerr or Popovich as the coach?
Popovich.
You had Tyronn Lue and Eric Spoelstra on that bench too.
I think Eric Spoelstra would be my
Eric Spoelstra would
choice.
be, I think,
that would be my choice.
tremendous.
And when you
Dog.
watch them, it looked like he was the one. Him and Tyronn Lue were more vocal. I don't know if you guys watched like a lot of games. I watched them every game, and it's from the when they the cutouts and stuff like that. It looked like they were a lot more vocal and into the team. Kerr was obviously that coach, but it looked like he was more hands off.
The thing that pisses me off
He's
about
hands off in real life
Yeah.
with the Warriors. He has assistant coaches that do all the work for him.
The thing that pisses me off about Steve Kerr is he talks to us fans as though we're dumb, that we don't know that the world is got a lot more talent. Because he's always saying, "Well, the world's really good." It's like, bro, stop.
Make adjustments.
Make adjustments, bro. And let me just say this too. The world has been good for a lot longer than we like to think. It's just because of the geopolitical fallouts of certain things. Like, for example, if Yugoslavia never dissolves, we have a whole different conversation.
We would have lost a few times.
Yeah. Russia spun off into 22 different countries. So, USSR, which, you know what I'm saying? So, there's a lot of geopolitical things that's happened that has caused some of this to be fractured. But trust me, this town has always been there, bro. Like, in 88, if we all sat in this table in 1988, we'd be like, yo, the Yugoslavia got some people, bro. Drazen, Divac, Kukoc, Raja, they had some dudes,
Yeah,
man.
they had Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't have certain geopolitical things happen, we're having a whole different discussion. So this whole idea that people are having that, it just started getting good. Like, bro, it's been good. Y'all just haven't paid attention because of just things happen.
All right, so before we go to the women's side, got a question for you, both of you guys actually. Which European country is next? We saw Spain's run. No, we saw Argentina's run.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Spain's run.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're seeing France's run. Which country is next?
Australia.
On the men's side.
I think Australia on both sides.
Well, the women, they were always
Yeah.
decent.
But I think Australia, the reason why I say Australia is because their young guys that they have, it's a little frightening over there. They got some guys that could really do some good things. Yeah, other than Ben Simmons, but we make jokes about Josh Giddey's really good.
You still got Dante Exum.
He's better than Dante Exum. I think Dyson Daniels still got a lot more tread on the tires that people don't like to agree with. They got some young guys coming up that are going to be really good. So I think Australia has a big chance to really do some good things, I think.
And let me ask you this from a draft perspective too. Here, what do you think about Slovenia? Obviously, Luka and them didn't, and even Greece with Giannis and those guys. Are there any young guys that are going to be able to help those countries out?
No.
Was Luka ever have a chance to make a run, anything like that?
No, not as long as Serbia's around. He's always going to be having problems.
Any chance he switches and goes plays?
No. Oh no.
I know,
no,
right?
bro.
He'd be hung in effigy.
That's a
if he did
fact.
that. No.
And as far as Greece actually destroyed their own infrastructure. Like, they had a chance, 04, 05 to like really
Yeah.
have something.
Yep.
But they
That's right. They played very
they
well. that
damaged
year.
it over there. And same thing with Spain. Spain took a giant step back.
Giant
too.
step back. They were, you
Yeah.
know, one of the premier teams. Honestly, you look if you watch that Redeem Team documentary at that
They
time
were
period,
they were the
team.
premier
Yeah.
European
Kobe
power
laying out,
for a
Pau
while.
Gasol. in
Like,
that,
Spain won like three
That's a
World
heck of a
Cups or something like
documentary,
that.
too.
Yeah, they've had some good, but they don't have the same killer
Well,
youth that comes up.
But the thing is, though, Spain is experiencing what you would say basketball experience, with all their best players becoming older and retiring out the game. That's what Spain's going through the last two Olympic cycles
Fact.
now. You lost the Gasol brothers, and now you got Rudy Fernandez bombing out.
And Ricky Rubio was really good early on in his career. over there,
You know,
too.
so they lost all of their
Rudy
their
Fernandez.
weapons, but they didn't restock.
And Spain's done a really good job at getting, I'll say, African kids over and developing. Like, you know, they've done really well in that. But those guys don't come back and play for them. They play for their other home countries. So, you know.
And again, we mentioned Greece and Giannis. Another off-topic thing. Did you guys watch the podcast with Jeff Teague talking about Thanasis and Giannis?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So you heard what you heard? I
Yeah.
just thought that was actually what you were talking about. Why is he always on the team? Gives a little insight as to why. They said he's not the same guy when Thanasis or whatever is not around the team. They say he kind of loses his mind a little bit. So.
Yeah.
Interesting,
Fiasses.
interesting
Yeah.
thought. I thought that was interesting
Fiasses.
for Giannis. So that was interesting. Quick thoughts though on the women's here before we wrap up. A close game at nail biter. I mean, Asia Wilson kind of pulling, you know, doing everything she could for the U.S. there. 1 point victory. The shot goes in as time expires, just inside the 3-point line to hold on to that 1 point victory. This thing was tight throughout, especially down the stretch. Your guys' thoughts on the women bringing home another goal? I think the streak's up to 62 or 63 straight.
61 straight, and this started it all. This is a 96 Dream Team for the women. This is the first of 8 straight. That's why I got it on right here tonight. They wear their Sunday reds, just like Tiger Woods when he's going for the gusto.
That's right.
And that's what they did. Great game that was played. They're going to hear about it because it was too close, but again, just like the men's side, the women's game has caught up to an extent as far as international play. A lot of players who, like you said, who have descent from other countries through their grandparents or parents or whomever. And let's not forget, guys, Gabby Williams who hit the shot for France. Played at UConn. You know, so those players know her. She most recently played for the Chicago Sky. So it's not like they're playing against people who haven't played in WNBA or people who they'll play against during the year in the wintertime overseas, because unfortunately, our WNBA players aren't paid enough just off of playing WNBA basketball to have to go overseas during the winter months to earn those $1 million checks. So you saw what you saw, but the MVP was Kalia Copper in that championship game, the gold medal game. Without Copper, they lose this game easily. But Asia Wilson proved why she's the best player in the world. And she has been for the past 5 years, and she will continue to be the best player in the world on the women's side. People forget, she's developing a three-point shot now. You give her that, she's really going to be unstoppable.
The shoe's coming soon.
Shoes at the A1 is coming soon. She's Olympic MVP. But a great overall showing by the women's national team. Tarazi, 6 goals.
That's right. That's the record, right?
But you got to sit down now.
I think that'll do it. I think that's it.
You 40 what? You about to be 42 now? Yeah, you got to sit down. You got to sit down.
Thoughts?
I mean, I'm just going to say this, and I think there's going to be a lot of pushback on it, but I don't really think it's huge pushback. In terms of the most dominating basketball player in between the WNBA and NBA, I think it's Asia Wilson. I think Asia Wilson, like, I'm not comparing her to the men's side at all. I think that's stupid. But if we're talking about dominance, I think she's the most dominant player out of both leagues. I mean, I
agree.
Like, I think any year you can argue, like, who should be MVP. I don't think there's an argument. Like, I'm sorry. I watch Asia Wilson play. There's no argument.
She got robbed last year.
And Stewie is a beast. And there's other girls there's other ladies that are a beast out there. But dog, Asia's on a whole different planet right now. And I just don't think there's anybody we can argue.
Yeah, I agree.
Mind you, she's
There's not much else to say
she's
about
also a reigning 2-time Defensive Player of the Year on top of being the MVP of the league.
No, but back-to-back championships, right?
Back-to-back championships, averaging 20 and 10 and 3 blocks a game in the WNBA and in the Olympics.
I would say keep it going in the Olympics, right? Especially in that clutch moment when your team needs you like that in that game against France to come up with those 21, 13, 4 blocks, take home that one. And again, if she plays a little bit worse, they maybe lose that game.
And then she has the charisma and personality to go along with it. know,
She does.
marketable. About time she get her own shoe.
Yeah,
you
shoe
know?
is coming. Got what was it? I got my own shoe.com.
You know?
The shirts.
You know, so
it's coming.
But out of the women's side, I'm gonna compare Cheryl Reeve to Steve Kerr. Don't let her coach again. Please don't let her coach again. Please don't let her coach again.
And let me just say this. Can we now put to bed this whole Caitlin Clark drama? Dog. Look, I'm not saying she wouldn't have been a great addition to the bench, but listen. Sometimes people, and look, I get it. I understand why some people didn't think Diana Taurasi should have been there. I get it. But listen, there's every team we can name. There's always a guy we can say, I don't know if he belongs here, or I don't know if I would pick this other person. I mean, like, no, I'm not picking on anybody, but I don't know about Derek White, bro. Not over Jaylen Brown, respectfully. Like,
not over Kyrie.
Right, another guy. So I'm just saying this. Sometimes people are picked for political reasons. I think Taurasi just got a seniority pick.
And again, she was going for the record too. I think for the
right.
first goal.
And I don't agree with it. I know people don't like it, but I mean, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, the job was still done. They still finished it. They still went and they got gold and they still did their thing. Now look, Caitlin Clark's a young player. She's got years to go and she can join that team. And I think she'll be brilliant when she does. But like, sorry, this is not your turn yet.
Yep.
Can you imagine, we talk about 2028 with the men's side. Can you imagine 2028 with Asia, Caitlin, and Angel on the same?
Yeah, that team is going to be loaded.
Possibly
up. And some other players
possibly
too,
in the same starting lineup.
Dog, Angel got to get her shot together, man.
But then if you add
Enrique. She could be their Dennis Rodman.
Did you get Enrique Ogunbowale to that 2028 roster? You add...
Give me Cardozo.
That's right. I mean,
no, she's
going to play for Brazil.
Brazil.
That's a fact.
But you have players that you're going to add to that roster over time.
Maybe Brink.
Cameron Brink, maybe that's right down the line.
Brink.
Yeah.
Oh, there you have it again. Olympics though.
Yeah,
It could be Rakia Jackson if she ever gets
Rakia
some real
Jackson.
time.
Yeah.
And again, 2 gold medals though, so U.S. gets the job done here in
that's right.
2024.
Vive la resistance.
2028 will be in Los Angeles on U.S. soil. It would not shock me if Jason McCaw somehow wound up at the Olympics in 2028.
You already know working with it.
So I'll let you know. Let's jump quickly into some more stuff here at the Olympics. I wanted to get through some of the Noah Lyles stuff. Obviously, high expectations for Lyles coming in. You took out camera one on Jason there.
So
high expectations for Noah Lyles coming into the Olympics, leaving in a wheelchair after, I believe, it was the 100? 200. She was leaving in a wheelchair. He was diagnosed with COVID, was seen out partying later that night. But it wasn't that stuff that really has him headlining in the sports world recently. It was the article by Sean Gregory that came out in Times right before the Olympics, highlighted an incident about him and Anthony Edwards, both part of the Adidas sponsorship, and Adidas was throwing Anthony Edwards a shoe release party, and they sent an invite to Noah Lyles, who took it as kind of like, it was a quote, as threw me a bone. They thought they were throwing me a bone, invited me to this party. He was extremely upset about it, talking about how Anthony Edwards getting his own shoe. He doesn't get his own shoe. He's a 6-time world champ, and all that stuff. So that article started making the rounds. And then obviously a few responses from different athletes, USA Basketball, etc. If you can see the quote of Dennis Hazard, he probably can put up on your screen. And then after that, the Lyles addressing it over the weekend, trying to tone down the situation. He's a big fan of Anthony Edwards, nothing against him. He's happy he won the Olympic gold and stuff like that. Your thoughts, guys, and Matthew, I'll start with you here on Noah Lyles and this whole kind of situation there.
Man, shut up, man. Ain't no one checking for you, bro. Listen. I'm gonna say this respectfully. You're a tremendous guy. You do great at certain things, but dog, you ain't Carl Lewis, bro. You ain't Johnson. You ain't none of these other giants we've had in track, bro. Ease up off that, man. You good. You gold medal guy. I give you that. You're not Miss Sydney. Like, come on, bro. Let's keep it a stack, bro. Like, in terms of the world of U.S. track, dog, you are just a guy. And you want to be like you're a Bolt, or like you have like, Johnson or Carl Lewis. You want to be like one of those guys. Dog, it's nice. You can want to be all you want, but that just ain't you, bro. Them shoes ain't your size, bro. Relax. Ease off, man. You done great. I think you're corny. I think you look real weird with the Serena Williams gear you be having on with the braids and the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and then you came out jumping like Lenny, like flipping Lenny, Poffo, and wrestling, dog. You was jumping in like the blue blazer, all hyped up before the fight. And then what happened? You got smoked, and then it was, oh, yeah, about that. I need a wheelchair now. Tired. Oh my God, I can't breathe. Like, bro, what happened, bro? And look, and here, let me just say this, and Jason, please take us away. Dog, your own people in your own sport don't like you, bro. The dude that won the race, when they asked him about does he want to be like the face, he said, dog, look, I'm not like Noah Lyles. He want to be the face of this, he can go right ahead. Bro, your own people think you corny, bro. Everybody think you corny. Whatever the 2 or 3 international people that you got around your circle that told you these things and made you feel like you're a great guy, dog, they lied to you, man. I'm just saying, bro. You weird, bro.
And again, this is one of our guys too. You know, one of our U.S. athletes, and just didn't like the way he kind of went about this whole thing. Anthony Edwards had a funny response too today.
But you know, there's a saying in our community where it's all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
That's right.
And Noah Lyles is one of those.
That's right, man.
You can run fast, bro. You do that.
Not
You know,
fast
you
enough, though.
you won the 100. You lost in the 200. But I want to bring something before I get back on his case. Let me put the double in total context for men's. There's only been 2 male sprinters that ever pull off the double. Carl Lewis in '84 and Bolt 3 times. Other than that, no one else has done this. So he was trying to complete an impossible feat, and it wasn't easy. You thought it was super easy. You found out the Kool-Aid wasn't that sweet. But also, here's the whole thing about it started before the Olympics, about the whole world champs thing. All professional sports teams have taken the world champs off of their logos. It just says NBA champions or Super Bowl champions or MLB World Series champions, but it doesn't say world champs anymore. I have a Celtics hat and shirt in the house right now. It just says NBA champions. So this world stuff is cool that you're saying that, but at the exact same time, if we're being realistic, right? No one cares about the world championships in track. The casual fan only cares about Olympic gold.
That's fair.
And the world championships are actually harder to do than the Olympics.
In a lot of sports,
they're
that way, yeah.
But for you to say world champs and talk crazy about everybody else, the casual fan don't even know or care about the world champs. We don't care if you won in Monaco in 2021 or just names, hypothetical names out there. I watch track religiously, so I've seen them run for a while. But like, you gotta fix your start, bro, before you start talking to everybody. You have one of the worst starts I've ever seen from a 100-meter sprinter in my entire life. Your starts are putrid. Noah Lyles gets his power from separating between 30 and 55. That's where he comes down the middle of the track and just separates. But you're too good to run your mouth this much and have that bad of a start. And then I'm gonna talk about something else with USA track, men's track at the end. Learn how to pass the damn baton. I ran track in high school. We did the 1, 2, 3 drill every practice. 1, 2, 3 stick. 1, 2, 3 stick.
Yep.
1, 2, 3 stick. Catch the baton. Pass it correctly. This has been the last 5 Olympic cycles you drop a baton at a major event. Stop it.
Yeah.
We're losing because we're dropping a baton, not because we can't beat everybody running wise. We were in second going into that turn. Baton drops. This has been happening since 2000. What are we doing? Blow up the whole USA men's track. You have to. Carl Lewis, come back and coach. Leopold Burrell, come back and coach. Michael Johnson, somebody come back and coach, because I'm tired of seeing professional track athletes dropping a simple thing like a baton that you learn in AAU track, you learn running for your school.
I agree with you.
Get out of here, man. This is horrible. Like, y'all got to stop this.
Hey, we do. You got to stop this. I'm all
That's a
for
fact.
it.
Yeah, man.
God.
That's right. Get on them, dog. Tell
Get
them.
on them. Well, there you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
And again, you would think at the Olympic level that's something you might have under control by that time, but things happen, and hopefully they'll look to improve upon that on home soil in 2028. But that wraps up our Noah Lyles conversation here, probably until 2028.
He don't get that much airtime from me, though.
He don't get
Go ahead and enjoy your little Fisher-Price nail set.
The Fisher-Price nail set. Enjoy them Lee press-ons, bro.
Let's head to the NFL, as guys, we are finally there.
That's
Preseason
right.
1 is now in the books. We got our first look at all of the rookie quarterbacks, a huge class that we did a lot of work on and talked about for months leading up to the draft. We got to see them for the first time. We also got some big NFL news throughout training camp, as now 24 days away from opening kickoff on Thursday night, with the Chiefs opening things back up.
With the flock. With the flock, baby. 24 days.
That's right, Ravens-Eagles preseason getting underway. I found it interesting. Do you remember the last time two teams played in the preseason and then played in the regular season like that?
It happens quite often.
I don't remember recently, and I thought
and
that
last
was
year,
kind of interesting.
first game season, preseason was Ravens-Eagles, was a different outcome last year.
Speaking of the Eagles,
Oh, we're jumping not even on the docket today. What we got, Matthew?
I'm just saying, man. How you feel?
I feel really good, really good.
You feel really good?
Thinking about, yeah, thinking feel good. And what's got you?
Nothing. I'm just interested. I'm interested.
I think Jalen Hurts looks a lot healthier. He looks
I'm
in
not.
better
I'm not
shape.
even trying to. I'm not even trying to troll. I think all three teams are in interesting positions here. I think when it comes to, I'm interested to see how Jalen Hurts is going to blow it this year. I'm interested to see the Ravens take the next step. I'm interested to see if my guy is going to be able to handle it.
So the Eagles are going to blow it, but the Ravens are going to take the next step.
I think the Ravens are a better squad.
Okay.
And I don't think the Eagles believe in their quarterback, but that's just.
And we'll find out. I think they do, and I think he's going to put everybody on notice this year. But I will say this, Jason, too. I'll say before you start, all three of our teams are actually division favorites in Vegas coming into the season. So that's good news. When it's something like that's always good news.
Common sense is common sense now. Let's not be wrong about it now.
That's a fact.
And we'll be continuing our division previews here, obviously, throughout a little bit. We're going to have to force a lot of them in here as we are only 3 shows away. We're once a week, so 3 shows away from getting the season underway.
Now, I say this just to go to the Eagles and we talk about the preseason games. Yep. No, we are our Eagles home base.
That's right, market.
Gotta give them
time.
So people say, I have people trash talking me. Man, it's preseason, but we beat y'all. I'm like, dude.
Oh, don't
Kenny Pickett was a starter. He should have beat number 2s and 3s.
Me in that group. Yeah.
Kenny Pickett should have beat 2s and 3s.
And yeah, coming into, I think the Ravens had they haven't lost a first week of the preseason in 15 years or something?
First week of preseason, but the
streak came to close last year.
Last year, but I mean, it's like this. We were a penalty away and a missed field goal from winning that game.
Results in the preseason. I don't even think they should list the results of the games in the preseason.
I mean, but like I said, it was a good showing from the running game for the Eagles.
Shipley looked good, right?
I was saying just from a commitment to the running game, because the Eagles' Achilles heel, even to the Buddy Ryan years, has been commitment to running the ball when it counts. Every coach, you can go from Buddy to Ray Rose to everybody else you've had.
Love me some Buddy Ryan. And to your point, it's going to be interesting right now with Kellen Moore, because Sirianni apparently more hands off this year with the offense.
The next head coach.
So Kellen Moore is going to be able to run a lot of his stuff.
Waiting.
And right, because Jalen Hurts in the past, number one thing used to be his RPO game, right? He was so successful with that. Kellen Moore doesn't run a lot of RPOs. I'm eager to see how this offense, starts off. What
Kellen
they decide
Moore might
to
be
run.
our head coach by midseason.
And I want to say this too. And Vic Fangio had the starters play in that game. Defense played. Offense did not play. Vic Fangio had this guy. I think Vic Fangio and the defense is going to be much improved from what we saw last year. The offense, I think, will be better. I'm just eager to see and more interested to see what the scheme of it, schematics, what they're going to try to do. They want to use a lot more motion. How are they going to use the motion? Jalen Hurts is a runner. We'll see. No RPOs.
As an Eagles fan, what's your percentage of Nick on the hot seat? 100% is it's in fuego.
I'm going to say 55 to 60%.
Okay. 55 to 60?
Yeah, over 50.
I think he's 75%.
No, before Eagles fan, that's saying a lot.
Yeah,
even admitting that much, because think about it. You heard reports come out about the friction between Jalen and Sirianni earlier this week and last week in the article.
Chad McLean,
they tried to downplay it, but you saw it on the field last year.
Yeah.
He misses Shane Steichen.
Well, and that's and I said that over the last couple of years. I think anybody would. I think he would have been. I mean, we saw what Jalen Hurts was an MVP candidate under Shane Steichen. We saw what we saw what Gardner Minshew did with Shane Steichen last year. Shane Steichen is a phenomenal coach and a phenomenal play caller, and obviously they're not going to have that luxury this year. So we'll see if that changes up a little bit. Like I said, I think the defense will be a lot better with Vic Fangio. So I think
been real.
We'll see what happens.
Well, Fangio was a great pickup.
Great pick. I agree.
Defense side. Because he's an old school coach. You're not going to be able to just loaf around and get away with it.
And I will say this, though. I thought reports came out earlier in the week or earlier in the day that the Eagles were going to play their starters. And last year they didn't do that. And I said, thank God. I said, I'm one of those guys that doesn't like to rest the players in the pre. I think they should get at least some reps, at least a drive or two, especially in this game. They didn't do it last year. And then right before the game, it comes out that the offense isn't playing, just the defense. And that's a Sirianni decision. So that's one thing that I want to I don't understand why we don't play these guys in the preseason. You look at the guys that are the teams that have done it. Chiefs do it every year with Andy Reid. They do it every year. They won the Super Bowl back-to-back years. I just don't get not playing the guys in the preseason, in my opinion. I thought those guys should have got some reps in on Thursday against the Ravens for sure. So we'll see, though. And again, off-topic talk about the Eagles. I like it as we're getting closer.
Yeah,
Small
it's football
favorites.
time,
Over.
man.
Football time,
Yeah,
dog.
we're going to get to the NFC East Division preview next week. We're also going to talk about the AFC North, another big division
You
there.
would do that. The same week.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we have to start getting 2 in because we're only 3 weeks away,
Yeah,
and we've done
fact.
2 division previews.
But,
we got 8
uh,
to get through. But let's talk about these rookie quarterbacks
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
and guys that we talked
talk
about for a
about
while.
it.
Dennis, if you've got the clips, we've got the throws from every quarterback or almost
really?
all of their stuff here. Just
we
some
go.
of the stuff that you can see. Dennis can play for you over top of while we talk about them. It starts off on Thursday night, guys, with Michael Penix Jr., a guy I really liked. Matthew, I know you liked him a lot as well. I think we all did.
Yeah.
9 of 16, 104 yards. I saw exactly what I saw at Washington. It was quick. The ball flies out of his hand. He was able to read at the NFL level. The ball was out early. It looked like a more explosive Tua back there for Atlanta. I know he played a lot. I thought he looked really good.
Don't put it on him like that.
What do you guys think about Michael Penix Jr.? Anything that you saw in his debut on Thursday?
I mean, you saw the polished game. I mean, that's what he's going to bring to you. He's just not going to start because Kirk Cousins has been a top 10 quarterback in the league the last 4 or 5 years. He's not going to start over Kirk.
and
It's
yeah.
all like Atlanta has the best luxury right now. They have 2 quarterbacks you can put on the field, plug and play right away. And with that offense that they're running there, any quarterback can be put in that offense and throw for 4,000 yards. I mean, that offense, the way that those schemes that they're running there,
Great offensive line, great skill guys, great running back, Drake London,
that's a
great tight
QB's
end. It's a QB's dream.
That's a QB's dream. That system.
Again, Kirk Million. They might as well call him Kirk Million.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, $100 million guaranteed. We'll see. I think he's got at least 2 years before we see Penix. But we'll start back up top now here because that's where the highlights are starting. And Caleb Williams, 4 of 7, 95 yards, had a rush for 13 yards. Played, I believe, 2 drives. Thought he looked pretty good from what I saw. Was able to stay in the pocket, which was the big question about him coming out of college. Was able to go through his progressions, made a couple nice throws. He really showed off that arm, especially on the throw out of the pocket, 25 yards to Cole Kmet. Then you showed off the wheels there for 13. I thought they looked good on those 2 drives that he was in the game. Do you guys have a chance to check out Caleb Williams? We'll talk about all these guys at the end. Let's just keep going through them. Jaden Daniels, 2 of 3, 45 yards. Had that rushing touchdown on the belly read for 3 yards. Only played 1 drive. We saw out of Jaden. Had the big throw down the sideline to Terry McLaurin. A beautiful ball.
That throw was
Dropped it right in
That
there.
was
Joe
pretty.
Burrow-esque, Nick Foles-esque, dare I say. Dropped
Oh,
it in
don't
the
do that.
basket.
Don't do that.
Oh, no, you disrespect Nick
Yeah,
Foles. By the
don't
way,
do that.
happy retirement to number 9. I'll get your guys' opinions on that at the
just
very
retired?
end of the show.
Yeah,
just
he-
retired
yesterday,
the other
yeah.
day.
I thought he was retired 5 years ago.
Oh, is
Well,
that,
well, now
is
it's
that a shot?
official. It's official now. Yeah, it's official.
And I tell you, we talked about Penix, but guys, the big one, the last 2 were guys I had a little bit lower in my rankings. In J.J. McCarthy, who I did have I believe a first-round grade on, but very low in the first round. And then Nix, I did not have a first-round grade on, but Bo Nix looked really good in his debut with the Broncos. But again, as we all remember, it's preseason, so a lot of these guys aren't going up against starting defenses. Not the case for a few of them. Williams did go up against some of the starters for Buffalo, but Nix 15 to 21, 125, a touchdown, 3 rushes for 17 yards. Showed off the legs. I thought he looked good, looked mobile. Arm looked pretty good. Got out of the pocket, made some with his eyes down the field, made some good throws there. And it seems like to me in that first game he looked a lot better than Jared Stidham, or Zach Wilson didn't look bad as a 3rd string. But I think this is going to be Bo Nix's job here shortly. I'm not sure if it'll be by the start. It should be by week 1, but we'll find out there. And then J.J. McCarthy, the one that really looked good and surprised me in his first game action in the NFL. 11 of 17, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception. The interception wasn't even really a bad one, as I watched a lot of his snaps too. His arm looked really good. That ball was flying off. Kevin O'Connell is one of the best play callers in the NFL, so he's in a great situation there in Minnesota, one of the best for a quarterback-friendly team, especially, offensively there. But those 2 touchdowns were deep balls. The guys were wide open, but he made the throws. One of them, he stayed in the pocket, took a huge hit, and was able to deliver the ball, staring, right down the barrel there as he was taking it. He was the one that surprised me the most. As you know, I was not as big on J.J. McCarthy but looked really good in the preseason. Again, it's just preseason. We saw Kenny Pickett light the world on fire last year for the Steelers. Offense scored every time a touchdown he was on the field. It ended up resulting in nothing in the regular season. So you take it with a grain of salt, but McCarthy looked good as well, guys. Let's talk about these 5 quarterbacks that were taken in the first round.
I'll start with McCarthy, and I'm going to give him some credit. Great opening preseason game. And I'm going to say this. We didn't understand the hype at him going number 10.
Yeah.
But now when I sit back and think about it, I know why he's picked at 10. It's not just because of where he played. I mean, it's because of where he played as well at Michigan with Harbaugh. But also, you got to remember, McCarthy was one of the more day one ready quarterbacks because he came from a pro-style offense in Michigan. Harbaugh runs the NFL offense, so
he looked very comfortable.
He's at the
play
line
action.
making reads. He's under center. He's taking the ball, under center and making the reads, audible things. So I think that makes him better prepared to learn and catch up with the Minnesota playbook. Not saying it's going to be a rookie of the year or anything like that, but I think playing in that pro-style offense gives him a little bit more of an advantage coming into his preseason. And when you're just playing against 2s and 3s, and you have a good game.
Yeah, and again, that's the thing, right? Who was he playing against, et cetera? And again, like we mentioned, that Minnesota offense, very quarterback-friendly, Kevin O'Connell. I mean, we saw what they were able to do last year, down the stretch with Josh Dobbs, Jaron Hall, and some of those other guys. So again, he's in a great situation. Matthew, what stood out to you from these guys?
Daniels.
That was my other one.
I mean, to me, he threw the bomb, and he has that mobility that made him, I think, a favorite. I think it'll be a good fantasy play this year.
Definitely.
I was not impressed with McCarthy. I mean, there's just things there I don't like. I was impressed with Nix. He's he did a lot better than I thought. I thought Zach Wilson would take another step forward this year, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah, you never know. Could be a backup.
I think Penix looked good. Caleb Williams, I'm not really shocked on anything he did, but I mean, I'd say if I had to rank them, I would say Daniels, Nix, and then probably Penix, then Williams.
Okay.
But I'm not mad at Caleb Williams if somebody saw it the other way. Like, Caleb Williams didn't play bad. I just think he played okay. Mm-hmm. I would say that I think Penix, if the Falcons do what I think they should do, which is I think they should sit him for the year. Let Kirk Cousins go out there, show him, give him the ropes how to be a professional, and then I think he takes a step forward. But look, Penix is also one of the older quarterbacks in the league, so I mean, as a rookie.
Yeah, him and Bo Nix especially. Right?
Yeah. So I think he's 24.
Yeah, I think Nix is 24.
Yeah.
He's 23 or 24.
Yeah. So I mean, look, it depends on what they want to do. I think the pick doesn't make sense to some people just because of all the money you tie up at the quarterback position between two of them. And
division favorites coming in when you already had your quarterback.
Yeah, but I would definitely let Kirk Cousins rock out this year.
Absolutely.
I just,
unless, barring injury, then that's...
Right.
And he's coming off that Achilles.
I feel like it's a stash pick.
No doubt, yeah.
It's definitely a stash pick because
I
feel like it's the... I'm going to say this. I feel like it's the Brett Favre.
I was saying that Jordan Love. I was just going to say the Jordan Love situation.
I'm going to go further. Brett Favre tried to buy Atlanta and traded him to Green Bay. Brett Favre could stay in Atlanta if they really wanted to keep him. But they traded him to Green Bay, and the rest is history.
They didn't really get along down there, right?
Yeah. Well, no, he was too drunk. He missed team meetings so a lot. No, honestly, that's what
I know him and the coach. I remember
Glanville wasn't really, but I feel like Penix is going to be on another team in 2 years. Only because of the fact that I think he's going to learn so much, they're going to have to play him. But at the same time, Kirk Cousins is going to do so well in Atlanta. He's going to be
I think for 2
offensive
years,
line. Like, you're going to be okay. We can't pay both, so somebody got to go, and it's going to be Penix.
I was like, like you said, these quarterbacks are signed to 4-year contracts. Maybe the team or player option for that 5th year. Usually team. It's going to be. There's a scenario where we don't see Penix his entire contract in Atlanta
because I think they can get value for him. I think you can bring in another big name star to that offensive defense by trading.
Or maybe
Penix,
they trade Cousins in 2 years.
That could work too.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Again, it was an interesting pick on draft night. It's still an interesting pick. But he looked as I thought he would look in that game. I mean, he looked like he did at Washington, which is, very impressive to say here early on.
Going back to Jaden Daniels, he's the rookie of the year right now.
I think he's the favorite to win rookie of the year. I just want to going back, and I know I like this class a lot coming in, but all these guys looked, I thought, to see a whole class look this, I don't want to say impressive, but sharp, I guess, in their first NFL action, even though it's the preseason, is pretty surprising. So I think that was fun to see those guys all look pretty good.
McCarthy still scares me, though.
I really like what the Commanders have done with that team. I'll keep my thoughts for the preview, but I really like Washington. What they're doing right now.
No repeat division winner in the NFC East since 2004. So Eagles or Commanders. Maybe it's the Giants with the next step with Malik Neighbors. Speaking of which, let's get to the NFC East. Malik Neighbors injuring that ankle yesterday. He was scared. Apparently the whole team. Brian Daboll coming out today saying they don't think it's a fracture, which you could take in a good way because it's not a fracture, or in a bad way because why would you feel the need to even address that it's not a fracture? Makes it sound like it's a pretty bad ankle injury. They're calling it a minor ankle sprain. Guys, how big of a deal is this, Matthew, for the Giants and their number 6 overall pick and maybe their only weapon on offense?
I think it's a bigger deal than probably people they're trying to make it out. I mean, soft tissue injuries are always the worst for guys, even vets, because it's one of those things that it lingers. You don't really get a full rest on it. And look, I hope it's something that just he was scared or they were nervous about it, and he ends up not impeding him this year. But it wouldn't shock me if week 4, week 3, we're saying like, oh, we might have to rest him this game.
Yeah, that's not what you want to hear. But again, won't see him in the preseason. I can almost guarantee, no word has been said of that, but I'll guarantee you personally, you're not going to see him again in the preseason. Your thoughts on this? And again, Neighbors was one of the, if not the hottest player throughout all 32 teams in training camp. I mean, all the plays that he's been making, just the hype around him has been unlike I've seen in a rookie in the training camp ever before.
You forget Odell played up there and they had some hype in there.
Oh, definitely had some hype. I guess maybe it's social media just got more and more, but I mean, the clips that we're getting out of New York.
But no, I think I do agree with Matt. It's a big issue because he's your only weapon. But I think by him being young, I think the rest of not playing the preseason will actually help, and he'll recover. Now, if he's a 30-year-old wide receiver, I'll be, he might not come
23,
back.
22,
He might not come back for like 6-8 weeks, but he'll be back by regular season.
That's what they're saying. And no issue with you hearing, when you go up there, how's Malik doing? Oh, it's not a fracture. You don't take anything from that?
I think Coach Daboll had to say that to get the media office behind because of the way it looked. Mm-hmm. But other than that, no, I don't take that any.
I do, but I'm with you guys. I think it's a big deal. One, like you said, he's their only weapon. You lose Saquon. You're coming into a year now with just Daniel Jones' final year of the contract. You don't take that quarterback with the 6th pick, which could have been J.J. McCarthy or Michael Penix. They go with Neighbors, which, again, I don't disagree with, right? So when you have that and it's such a big year for your franchise after you losing Saquon, you were on Hard Knocks. A lot of the spotlight has been on New York this offseason. And then you're coming into Daniel Jones' final year of that contract year. This is it. This is what you can see, what you got in Daniel Jones. And then you lose that one weapon that was going to maybe let him or allow him to take the next step. I think it's a huge loss. I really hope he's okay because I think he's going to have a huge impact with the Giants. And now we just might have to wait a little bit longer before we see that impact. So again, we hope he's okay, but not great news. I think, and we all agree here that it might be a big deal there for Big Blue with the Giants. Now staying in the NFC East, I think a huge deal with CeeDee Lamb and the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb, the leading receiver in the NFL last year, a huge year helping the Cowboys win that division. So not only do you have the Dak Prescott stuff going on, guys, about his contract, he's going to have the most interesting situation in quarterback history where he's going to be the first free agent quarterback potentially with no restrictions to go out, like Kirk Cousins did a couple years ago, but he's going to get even more money than Kirk Cousins did. And now you've got the CeeDee Lamb issue as well. You have Dak, not under contract, and now CeeDee Lamb holding out of training camp and wanting to sign those contracts that Jefferson and some of those other guys have recently signed. I hope Dennis has, this is the quote from Jerry Jones earlier in training camp. This was a week ago when he said, I don't feel, or it's not urgent to sign, CeeDee Lamb. I don't feel an urgency to do it. So that was taken about a week ago, and then he responded over the weekend with this clip after getting a lot of heat from that comment, and I hope Dennis has the video. Dennis, do you have it? This is what he said yesterday.
I think I got in trouble a little the other day when I said, look, we're not urgent about CD. Well, no one appreciates CD being on the field any more than I do. But let me say this, he wouldn't be taking a snap out here today if he'd been here for all. You've got to use your head when you expose key players. That gives the other younger players a chance to do it. We know exactly what CD can do.
All right, so there you heard it from Jerry Jones. He said, CD, we really do miss you, but we don't miss you out here, competing because other guys are going to get better. He tried to basically walk it back and try to ease the situation a little bit. I don't think he did a very good job of it. But when you're CD Lamb and you're sitting at home and Jerry Jones comes out and he loves to talk to the media, as everybody knows, and he says, I don't feel an urgency to sign CD Lamb when he was 80% of that offense last year. What do you guys think about Jerry Jones and the Cowboys situation here? And do you think it's going to come to a friendly close here soon? Or do you think there's a chance that CD Lamb could actually miss regular season time?
CD's enough of a jerk to miss regular season games. He's a
I
wide
hope he
receiver,
does.
diva. I hope he does too. And I hope, honestly,
I don't get why these teams like Jamar Chase and just sign these guys.
Honestly, I would
It's
love-
going to go up every time. The more you wait, the more the price goes up.
I would love for nothing more for both Dak and CD to sit out.
Or leave next
Or
year.
leave.
Both of them, those guys are gone.
Like,
That
I
would be
mean,
sweet.
I would do that and get a year of rest, but that's just me. But no, but I do think Dak might be the more urgent pick because without a quarterback, you can't get the ball to anybody. Yeah. But I don't know what that's going to end up looking like. I don't think either one. Somebody's gone next year. I don't know if it's Dak or CD or both, but one of those two players will not be in Dallas next
And
year.
that'd be a big loss for Dallas. They lose. I mean, they need both of those guys, in my opinion, if they want to stay
They're
relevant.
not going to keep both.
CeeDee Lamb is, again, one of the baddest receivers in the league. Dak's been an MVP candidate. Last year was finished top 3 in MVP voting. Matthew, both those guys are not under contract, going forward. What are your thoughts on Big D in Dallas?
I mean, this is par for the course for them. I mean,
Jerry Jones, well, he just seems to always get in the way
yeah.
sometimes.
I mean, look, they're in a catch-22 because if they give CD this money and then they don't provide him with a guy
to throw to him.
to throw it to him, then it's going to look like money wasted. And then if they give Dak all this money and Dak continues to do what fans are irritated with in Dallas, which is not win the big games, then it looks like, well, you spent all this money on 2 guys and we still didn't get nowhere. I mean, I'll say this, and I think it's an important conversation to have with Dallas. And I think this is probably the frustration that Dallas fans have, and I think it's the frustration that I think the Cowboys have. So everybody likes to say that, well, San Francisco's on a championship drought the same way that Dallas is on a championship drought. Here's the difference. We've actually been to the dance. We didn't get the homecoming king, but we've been to the dance.
Yeah.
We didn't have to go purchase the ticket. We got invited to the dance. We lost, but we were there.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Dallas fans is they feel like they have the chance to get to the dance, and then tickets aren't punched. Something happens, things misfire.
Every year,
Every year.
Every year.
Can't be paper champions.
Every
Yeah.
year, like Stephen A. likes to say, you don't have to worry about it. You just know something's gonna happen.
Yeah, and look, and I feel bad for the fans because I understand. I mean, look, I
Yeah.
got news for the Dallas fans. You ain't missing nothing because more
That's right,
more
because the
frustrating
Lakers
than
aren't
going
good
and
now
losing.
either, so
Okay?
that really hurts the Cowboys. fans.
Going
The
and
Lakers
losing
aren't
is
good.
just as irritating, but I'll say this: if I was somebody who was on a team that the last time we won was like when Clinton was president, and last time we've been to a Super Bowl was when Clinton was president, I'd be irritated too. So I get it, but I think that's kind of the problem. I think the problem is they just don't see that they've taken these steps to go to the promised land. Different if you get to the promised land and lose. It's a whole other thing when you keep getting close and then you don't get over the hill. So, they have
Going
with
back
Tony
to
Romo,
the Des Bryant.
Oh,
man! Did he catch it?
Drew Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe,
Did Des catch it?
Miles Austin.
Des caught
He
that.
caught it. I thought he caught it too. I
Des
thought
caught
he caught
that,
it
man.
too.
Miles
man.
Austin.
That one really hurt. If you're a Cowboys
Yeah.
fan, I can only
Des-
imagine how that would feel.
Des caught
man.
that.
He caught that.
So
one.
I mean, they changed the rule the following year after that.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
they
that's the
did.
problem, man. So that's the problem for the Dallas Cowboys. That's the problem with the Dallas Cowboy fans. They're in a situation where, like, man, look, they gotta show some traction. If they don't show some traction, I mean, I think Jerry Jones got flamed by the fans for keeping Jason Garrett on so long as he
Oh,
did.
he did, and I was glad he did though.
Yeah,
Glad.
and now you got
did.
Mike McCarthy, who everybody thinks is a guy.
I
that
hope
just-
he holds on to Mike McCarthy
Yeah,
too.
that's another guy.
But
that
again,
people
I
think,
don't like the
you know.
13-win season, so he done
Yeah.
his thing. But I still hope they keep him.
Yeah.
But again, I want to get your guys' opinion on this because new news breaking today. Somebody close to Jerry Jones reportedly with a quote that he is infatuated with Shedeur Sanders, and that if Dak were to be, if it kind of maybe going in his head with the Dak negotiations, that they want to let Dak walk and then maybe make a big trade up if depending on how the season goes to get Shedeur. in the draft this year. Your thoughts on that potential scenario? Seems a little far-fetched now because there's no way the Cowboys would be picking up.
It's not far-fetched.
Because Jerry loves him some prime time,
Jerry
doesn't
loves
he?
Dion. Dion loves Jerry. Jerry Jones is basically like Grandpa Jerry.
So
to
that's
the
what I'm
Sanders
saying. So what do you
boys.
think
Like,
about that scenario?
Tampering. That's way too rigged. Way too
Well,
rigged.
Dion has said, hey, I only have a few teams that he's going to go
way
to.
too rigged, but Dion can't determine the NFL draft, so we can.
Well, how much? It would cost, no matter where they finish, to move up to get Sanders. You'd need a top 3 pick. So we'll see if they maybe.
Well, let me just say this: if that is the case, if that's what Dallas's intentions really are, they better make damn well sure that this guy is
Oh, no doubt.
Is the guy.
Pro Bowl level
That's
quarterback.
a risky game to be playing.
Because I'm gonna just tell you this: Tony Romo was undrafted. They got lucky. Dak was a 4th rounder.
Lucky.
You got real lucky.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is, look, that top 3 pick, like, look, my team, prime example, we took Trey Lance, top 3 pick.
Oh, he's a
That's right.
Cowboy.
Yeah, and he a Cowboy.
That's right.
now.
He is a
He's a
Cowboy.
Cowboy.
So it's
Boys.
like, look, it ain't no guarantee, bro. You go up in that top 3 and you pick a QB. It ain't no guarantee.
Achilles Smith.
Yeah, Achilles Smith. I mean,
Achilles.
Tim Couch. I mean, there's some dudes, man. It ain't
Ryan Leaf.
Sam Darnold. Like, there's some guys, bro. Like,
Christian
ain't no-
Ponder.
Yeah, Zach Wilson. Like, dude, this is not a guarantee. You take
All
a guy in
Florida
the top
quarterbacks.
3.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Like, come on,
Except
bro.
for Cam Newton.
Oh, well, he played.
Hey, he was at Florida longer than he was at Auburn, so I'll say that.
Don't do that.
Gosh, stop, no.
Don't do that.
I was just going on. I was on Twitter today, and somebody
man. That's
somebody
funny,
put
though.
up a highlight of Cam's rookie year, like his first game. He threw for 400 yards, only rookie to ever do that in their first start. I mean, man, watching those old highlights of Cam Newton was something else, man. A lot of fun for those years.
I love Cam as a podcaster, though. His 4th and 1 podcast, it's quite interesting. He's saying some real stuff on there, man.
Yeah, and he was a heck of a player.
Shout out
too.
to Chris Lee, man.
Shout out to Chris Lee.
The real champion. Not Tim Tebow, who
Hey,
came
Tim
in
got
for the
his
last
later,
game.
but you're right. That was Chris Lee
that was
got
Chris
up
Lee's
there
squad.
for.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. I agree.
all
But y'all credit Tim Tebow for that. But we
No,
gonna let
he
that
was
go,
he
though.
was
We
a
gonna
part
let
of
that
it.
go.
But Chris Lee, no, don't disrespect
Well,
Chris Lee.
you disrespect him.
No, I don't disrespect
When we were
Chris
talking
Lee.
about Tim Tebow downstairs, you was like, he wanted.
He's got 2 championships because he was a part
He
of the
won it
team.
as a
But I
kid.
would never disrespect
You
Chris
said he
Lee.
won as a freshman. You totally pushed Chris Lee to the side.
Oh,
You said,
no,
"Get out of the way.
don't do that.
I'm supporting
He was
Tim
a-
Tebow.
No, he was a member of that team. He did it. It was a mutual.
What did he do? What did he do?
championship. Hey, that came later. He never did. I mean, he did that in college. It was just prayer. That was never. It was blown way out of proportion. Let's stick with the preseason here. I want to get you guys quick thoughts on the Guardian caps were made official this year. Now you can wear them in the game. So those big things on the helmets that are supposed to be for player safety are now legal for play. We saw Jonathan Taylor guys do it yesterday in the preseason
I've seen
action
that mess.
with the Colts. What do you guys think of the Guard? Are we going to start seeing these now in the NFL? It seems like a lot of Colts were the first to do it. A couple of guys on their team had it. What do you guys think of the Guardian caps?
Unfortunately, you will start seeing it, but I think it's going to be more so for running backs.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, I think certain positions.
Certain positions like
Yeah,
running
maybe
backs and
some
maybe
safeties
running
you're
backs and
hitting.
linebackers possibly.
Yeah, I would see linebackers do it. Yeah, I don't know
I mean,
about cornerbacks.
I don't know if I like it that
I
much.
don't know. It's going to take some getting
'cause
used to.
You're going to get injured regardless.
Yeah.
in playing football,
Got to play.
you got to play. But I'm not going to knock it. I'm not going to sit here and.
And honestly, when the idea came out, I thought it would be great. It looks better than I thought it was going to look. I thought it was going to look absurd. They kind of tried to make it look almost normal.
I mean, it's a stocking cap for your helmet.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And Dennis will have the clip.
Wave
You'll
cap.
see it on your screen here as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting as we go forward
wave
here.
I don't like it. I'm a purist.
Man, you got to take on it. What do you
I mean, a
think?
purist, yeah, don't like it.
I'm just a purist. I just don't like it. I mean, look. I respect the sport. I respect what those guys put their bodies through, and I'm like Jason. If that makes them feel healthier and more safety, I'm not gonna knock it. But as a purist, I don't like it. And just to show you how much of a purist I am, I don't like the advertisements on NBA jerseys.
Oh, God, that has to go
I don't
away.
like
I
that
don't like
either.
that.
I'm a purist. So like multiple sports, bro. It's not just.
And Adam Silver really loves that kind of thing.
Yeah, I can't stand that, dude. To me, it disgraces the uniform, and I'm not saying that much about the helmet thing, but that's just about the jerseys with the NBA. But I'm a purist. I just like certain things a certain way. But look, again, it's about player safety, and if players feel more safety, go by all means, go do it,
Well,
man.
sticking with the purist theme for a second, guys, and Matthew, this question right back to you. What do you think of the new kickoff format?
Hate it.
For
Dynamic
the
kickoff?
NFL, yeah. They said they want to improve
Terrible.
kickoffs, and yes, they're going to be returned more. But I think it's going to be, and maybe
We'll never
I
have
think it's-
another Devin
that's what
Hester.
do you really think? Are we going to see touchdowns? Are we going to see kickoff return touchdowns? You know, you picture back whenever they started, you know, the official NFL kickoffs. People were probably saying, "Oh, we'll never see a touchdown." And you know, obviously that became a big part of the game. But for this scenario, it looks like it's going to be really tough to run something back.
Here's my thing. You make this atrocity of a kickoff. Go back to the traditional.
That's
If
what
we're gonna
I
do
thought
this-
so too.
If we're going to do this, look, go back to the traditional kickoff and make all the special teams wear guardian caps. Done.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if we can go that route, go back to the traditional kickoff, make them with guardian caps, call it a day, we're out here.
And
Go.
again, in terms of Devin Hester, he came out publicly and said he hates it. So
Yeah.
there you
I
go.
mean, anybody who was a kick returner, Dante
Dante
Hall.
Hall, I know.
I mean,
Brian
Dante
Mitchell.
Hall.
Brian Mitchell.
Yeah.
Salute.
That's a name that you don't hear a lot, but
No.
who should be in the
Definitely should be
conversation.
That's a
Well,
fact.
Guardian caps will be a thing this year, so keep an eye out for them. And that
what's this
takes us
here?
to the final
My favorite guy.
subject.
This dumb
Right
thing
here. So
This-
very interesting here is the Eagles traded Hassan Reddick, their leading sack guy from last year.
Hassan Reddick.
In need of a new contract, was sent, and we have a picture. We're going to bring up a couple of them here with some of these stuff regarding him. He has asked for a trade 4.5 months after being traded to the Jets from the Eagles. He was seen in Japan a few weeks ago at the start of training camp. He posted the video himself, you know, letting know people weren't there. This tweet from, I believe it's Jordan Schultz, you'll see on your screen, referencing the fact that they offered him a deal before the trade was done with the Eagles. He declined it. They decided to make the trade anyway without knowledge, without his approval that he would re-sign there. They made the deal anyway, and since then, so what has been reported is when they met, he didn't agree to the contract and he said he wouldn't sign that. But they apparently discussed that even if he didn't, he would show up to camp. So the Jets apparently hadn't even offered him a new contract since that day. So what I kind of gathered from it was the Jets were trying to play a little fastball here and say, hey, we'll make the trade for him. And he said he's going to report even if we don't offer him a contract. Let's just not offer him a contract and see if he reports to camp. Well, obviously he didn't because he didn't get that contract offer. So Joe Douglas came out today and said we are not trading him. He will be there. Otherwise, we will fine him if he's not there.
I'm talking
An
about.
interesting situation for a defense that was one of the best in the league last year with Bryce Huff, who is now with Philadelphia. But it's a defense that kind of really focuses on the pass rush. You got those guys in coverage behind him, but it's a lot of that defense is getting to the quarterback, which now they don't have that edge rusher at all. You have Quentin Williams, who's phenomenal in the middle, but if you don't have Reddick, you have no outside pass rush for the Jets this year, which is a big part of that defense. Where do they go from here, the Jets and Joe Douglas, with this Hassan Reddick situation?
This whole situation is dumb. And it's dumb on the part of the Jets. It's dumb on Hassan Reddick. It's just dumb.
I think he's that upset he got traded from Philly.
I don't care, but suck
You
it
stop
up.
crying, bro.
Yeah, you got.
Been crying since last year, bro.
He's doing way too much. He's doing. Just play football, man. You're going to get money.
So put yourself in his shoes there. They said, listen, I'm Joe Douglas. We're negotiating. I say, listen, you declined the contract, but he'll still show up to camp, right? Like, even if we don't come to a deal, you say, apparently he must have gave him his word he would. Would you still show up to camp? They didn't even offer you a contract in the 4.5 months leading up to the season? I mean, again, we know this is all speculation.
It's a brand new team. They don't know what you're going to do for them yet. You got to play to earn a contract. It's that simple.
But we don't see a situation in the NFL where these guys like him get traded without, you know, these new contract stuff. It's very rare.
He
they
wouldn't
usually
have
always
gone
come
there
to
if
agree.
he shouldn't have went there then.
That's what he said he didn't want to. They traded for him anyway.
Listen, this is a dumb situation. And truth be told,
I think this is really going to hurt. If they don't have him, the Jets, I'm not going to say
Hassan-
they're in trouble, but that defense will be hurting.
let's put it on Hassan Reddick because he's not that good. He's had 2 good seasons out of what, 7 or 8? Like when he did nothing in Arizona. Let's not forget this now. You know, you went to Temple, got the I'm a Philly kid. You went to Arizona and did nothing. Philly saved your career. Let's be honest.
I think
the
he
Eagles
was-
saved your career.
He wasn't very happy about being traded from the Eagles.
But
Again,
Philly-
that shouldn't have anything to do with it, but I just want to point
Philly
that out.
resurrected your career, and you're gonna act like you've been Pro Bowl from day one. Please stop, bro.
Again,
Stop.
Reddick, Matthew, a guy that talks a lot of trash to your 49ers
I liked him.
last year.
I liked him. He gave us energy.
I liked Hassan Reddick, you know, too. Again,
I liked him when he
a
shut
little
up.
weird with some of the stuff that he says and a little
Crying
out there
after we got
sometimes.
that,
Yeah, what are your thoughts
stomped
on
on
it?
you? Listen, this thing about Hassan Reddick, man. I do kind of echo what Jason says. I give him a little bit more leeway of being good. But I'll say this about Hassan. Look, bro, you got two ways you can play this out. And I ain't saying this to slight the guy. I'm saying this because it's just real talk. Listen, bro, you're Clay Matthews. You got one skill. And no matter what fans want to say of him, he got one skill. The skill is he goes after the quarterback. He does that really well. You ask Hassan to do anything else, it gets real bad real fast. And we saw that with the Eagles last year. And the Eagles don't want to talk about it because they don't want to muddy the waters when they traded him. I think if you talk to them today, I think they're going to be a little bit more open and honest about it. There were several times last year where he was inefficient because if he couldn't sack the quarterback, couldn't stop the run, couldn't stop RPOs, couldn't stop anything.
And again, reports coming
No
out.
ability to pass coverage.
And reports coming out that he kind of went rogue sometimes during the season and didn't listen to some of those defensive calls. Like there were times where he wasn't supposed to rush the quarterback and, and still did. So those were things that can really hurt a defense. Again, I'm a Reddick fan, but to your point, there were some reports of that last year.
Yeah,
and then you get Vic Fangio come in this year. He doesn't really play for that. You're not going to be able to do that with him.
Right, and this is my thing with the Jets, bro. It's a beautiful setup for you. All they want you to do is do what you do.
It is.
They don't want you to do nothing else.
On one of the best defenses in the league.
So my question is to him is, bro, how much longer do you think you got? Clay Matthews' body started breaking down at about the same age you are now, bro. NFL is not for long. You ain't got much more time out here, bro. I respect you want to get your bread, and by all means, go get your bread. But don't forget, time is ticking, my man, and your career is ticking. And no matter how you want to slice it, bro, you're a guy that has limited skills. And the skill that you do is, look, I put you up there as one of the better guys when it comes to rushing the quarterback. But, bro, you ain't one of these guys, bro. You ain't one of them guys.
And again, to the Eagles' point, the reason they did
I'm
re-sign
not a
him
fan.
is
Sorry.
because
I'm
not a fan of Reddick either. I'm just saying if we're talking about what he does best.
He's a one-trick pony.
That's what I'm saying. He does one thing really well. But my point, what I'm saying is to you is, I think if you just do this one thing, I think he can be elite at that one thing.
But here's the problem. You're already getting paid to do that one thing. Shut up.
Yeah.
You already got money doing one thing. You would not have lasted 2 years in the 90s NFL or 2000 NFL. Like, come on, bro. Like, you're being paid to be a specialist, which would never happen 15, 20 years ago. Shut up and play.
And again,
Please,
turning
just be
31 years of age.
That's
too.
what I'm
That was
saying.
the
You already
reason
been in
that
the
the
league
Eagles
8, 9 years. Like, come on, bro. You did nothing in Arizona, and now you think you're Reggie White. Come on.
I don't know. We'll see what
Come on,
happens.
bro.
I don't know if this is going to
Come
end anytime soon, but not good for the Jets.
He ain't no Reggie White. He ain't no Bruce Smith. He ain't none of them.
We'll
Just
see
play
what happens
football,
with him. Let's
sir.
see when he reports as of right now. Question for you. Who reports first? CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, or Hassan Reddick?
Hassan Reddick.
Jamar Chase.
You think?
Yeah,
No, yeah, you said Jamar Chase. Yeah, I said
because Burrow's back.
Maybe.
Because Burrow's back.
And again, Burrow saying, the president of Cincinnati going to the Jerry Jones, the president of Cincinnati coming out saying, yeah, he has no urgency to pay Jamar Chase. These guys,
But remember,
I don't know what's going on with these
he's not
guys.
gonna let T. Higgins have a Pro Bowl season. He don't play at all. T. Higgins is in a 1-year contract.
Yep.
Too, so
Can we talk about this real quick? Because it's just now that we're talking about them. Dog, Cincinnati's a mess, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they got some issues. Like, I don't.
And it continued today, and to your point, I don't know if this is what you're referencing. Amarius Mims, their first-round draft pick, injured his pec. He's going to be out multiple weeks, and they really don't have a timetable on his return. That was their first-round pick to buffer, to strengthen that offensive line. He got hurt today, so just to go to your point, you got T. Higgins holding out.
Yep.
You got Jamar Chase holding out.
Yep.
You now just lost your first-round draft pick. Which
got
is
Mixon.
you lost Mixon, which you have an offensive line that you need to protect Joe Burrow, who was hurt all of last year.
But that's the thing. Losing Mixon is going to be their Achilles heel this season.
Big word out of training camp is Chase Brown. They signed Zach Moss. He's projected to be the starter, but the whole team loves Chase Brown.
You can love Chase Brown until week 1. So you playing against ones-on-ones.
And again, we'll talk about the AFC North next week, but the Ravens slight favorites over the Cincinnati Bengals.
Dog, the Bengals might have fumbled the bag, man. They might have fumbled the bag. They really might have.
But that's all I got. I ain't got nothing else.
Outro, guys. Let's wrap it up here as we go around. Closing words here on Monday. We will be back next Monday, and then football season the week after that. Jason, closing words. After the Olympics has now wrapped up, USA tying with China for the most gold medals. They have more silvers, I believe, in that scenario. But Olympics are wrapped up. We're through preseason week number 1.
Yeah.
24 days till the NFL kicks off. How you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. As far as Olympics, we're still the best. You don't like it, Do better. We're still the best at everything. Do better. Please don't put breakdancing in 2028 with the mess we saw. That was putrid, okay? And do not let boxing go by the wayside. They're talking about not bringing boxing back at all as an Olympic sport.
Cut breaking and wrestling only has a few weight classes left.
Cut breaking, keep boxing, and I'm excited to see softball and baseball in LA in 2028.
That would be cool for sure. And flag football, I believe.
Flag football.
Yeah, wow, that's gonna be good. Matthew, what do you got here on for camera 3 as we close out on a Monday evening? It's new
So I
location
got
up
smoke.
here.
I got smoke. So different sports,
Surprise,
not the typical sports that I'm used to talking about, but we're gonna talk
Oh.
about it real quick.
Oh no, don't tell me we're talking
So-
about baseball.
I do watch the gymnastics, big time gymnastics, dude.
Go.
Shout out to the Florida Gators.
Yeah, big time, you know. But let me just talk about this real quick. So, in case you don't know, in case you live under a rock and don't know much about gymnastics, there's a special, one of the better female, she's not the GOAT anymore, but she was one of them. That's Nadia Comaneci, who is from Romania. She's now living in America, and she basically led a campaign on Twitter and on Instagram crying and bitching about Jordan Child's medal, and that she felt that the floor exercise that she got the medal, she got a bronze, and you saw that her, Biles, and the young lady from Brazil all did that iconic photo, and she was talking about it being a diversity thing. She was talking about it, you know, that the judges had robbed her fellow Romanian from winning because she didn't step out. All these things, right? And there's a lot of technicalities, and I'm not going to go into the technicalities, but let me just say this. This is my problem I have with Nadia Comaneci. So you go out and you do this hateful campaign. You then go out on Twitter and you're liking every single post about Jordan Childs and about this diversity inclusion nonsense. And then when the IOC comes out and says that she has to return the medal, you then put out your post to say, let's talk about the mental health of these young ladies. And now all of a sudden you want to be the beacon of humanity, that these are young ladies that we shouldn't be talking bad about them and everything else. Meanwhile, Jordan Childs is having death threats. Jordan Childs is being called N-word. Jordan Childs is having all sorts of turmoil, so much turmoil that she killed her social media.
Yeah.
Now, you cause the thunderstorm, you cause the tornado, and then you want to bitch up, and now you want to walk it back a little bit and say, let's not be too hard on these young ladies. Shut up. You started it. Own it. Stand 10 toes on it. Don't bitch up now because you're getting a little hot now. Now you're sitting there like, oh, it's a little hot. No, you wanted it. You wanted to smoke. You got it now. So now people are lighting you up like a Christmas tree, as they should. You're a disgrace the way you attacked Jordan Childs. It's a disgrace the way that you went out and you harangued this campaign, this hateful campaign against Jordan Childs, as if she has some control over what the judges decide to do. Okay? And then you did all this, and then now you want to act like you're some Miss Congeniality and some nice human being. You're not a nice human being. You're a piece of shit. I'm just going to call it the way it is. People can sugarcoat it and they can say, oh, she didn't mean it. She was just passionate. She's not passionate. She was hateful, and she got her what she wanted. And now that she got what she wanted, she wants to try to look like she didn't throw a temper tantrum. No, you did, ma'am. Own it. Just own it.
There you go. Close it out. And again, if you see some of those tweets from that country also regarding that, there were some disgraceful things on social media there. So there you go. Matthew and Matt are going to send us out with a bang here on a Monday. For Jason, Matthew, and myself, and Dennis behind the glass. We will see you next week. More preseason NFL division previews and some more sporting news for sure. We'll see you then.